Hi, I'm Tim Webb, founder and CEO of CliqForm, where our goal is to alleviate any and all pain points associated with buying, building, and owning furniture. Put together a prototype of a prototype, and I'm going to show you that today, show you how we're going to alleviate these pain points. So first thing to go over is all the different pieces we have, and I've got this little cheat sheet, so I'm going to put up over here to go through and show you the pieces that we're going to use to build the coffee table today. First one on the list is a long rail. It's got two male fittings on each end, 1.5 by 1.5. And then very similar to that is the short rail, which is a shorter version of the same thing. After that, we've got a T, which is 3 female connectors. And in the center, the clicker is facing the right. And then opposite of that, or anti that, the anti is a T with a left-facing clicker. Then we have the corner piece, which is 3 female fittings, which will go in a corner. And then we have a foot for the bottom. And on the bottom, made a nylon pad so it doesn't scratch and it slides easily. What I did is made horizontal lines on it to match our logo, which you see in the O in the CliqForm. That way if it's sitting on a carpet or hardwood floor or something, when you lift it up, there'll be like a dust pad or something with our logo in it. And then the final piece for the coffee table is the flat board on top, which is 22 inches by 5.5 inches. So, okay, let's go ahead and start. Start with T and a foot. And when it goes together, when it's the basic mechanism for the support rails, clicker, when it's flush up on the surface, it's locked. When it's up, it's unlocked. It can go together when it's locked or unlocked, similar to like a seat belt. So, start over here, and then we'll go with a short rail to the other side of the T, and then another T, and then a short rail, and then an anti, and then a foot below that. So that'll be the far side of the coffee table. And then coming up off of that, we'll have a couple of short rails. And then on top of that, we'll have 2 corners connected by a long rail. And then connect the short rails we put in to the corners, and they want to go in at the same time. Cool. So this is the side of a coffee table. So I'll set that down there. So let's build the other side now. So to do that, we're going to need a T, and then a short rail, and a foot coming off the bottom. Oops. And then an anti going to the middle. And then coming across to the other side, we got a short rail, and then another anti. Below that, a foot. Cool. Set that there for a second. And then coming off of that, similar to the other side, 2 short rails coming up. And then to cap it off, same as the other side, we're going to have a long rail connecting 2 corner pieces. And the cool thing about all this is all these pieces are interchangeable. Like this corner could go there, or this long rail could go here. Doesn't matter. They're all relatively, they're all the same piece. So you can see now, so we'll go 3 long rails inside of this. And you can see how if we wanted to stop here and we wanted to build the frame, you can see how like this kind of looks like a side table. If you line them all up. So if we wanted to build a side table, we could do that today. But we're building a coffee table, so it's not stopped there. So we have to build the middle section. Middle section is T. Let me move this out of the way. T, short rail, and T. You see how they're 90 degrees from each other? Then coming off the top T, we've got 2 short rails. And then a T on one side. Oops. And then an anti on the other side. You can see here, so this is going to slide right on top of it. Oops. And then coming off of that, 3 more long rails. I'll back back it up a little bit, make sure it's all in the frame. And then to cap off the end, we'll have the other end of the coffee table. Boom. Coffee table frame. Then, so to put the top boards on, right now we have a piece of PVC plastic underside. You can see two of them right here. And so what that'll do is it's going to go on a hook underneath. So I'll show you right here. You can hear that little snap. That's how you know it's latched in. Now, one of the things I want to go over next time is, this is a prototype of a prototype, for lack of a better term. And I want to go over the changes we're going to make between this and the actual prototype. One of the changes we're going to make is with these top boards, which again, I'll go over in more detail next time, but you can kind of see there's a little bit of shingling going on where they kind of like one board will go on top of the other one, but very solvable problem. It's just a matter of doing it. Again, I'll detail all that stuff on Friday. Anyway, so you just snap them all in, and then one last board. So, kind of see a little bit of shingling here, but that's how you build a coffee table, no tools, nothing. And one of the coolest things that we strive for is to be able to take it apart without any tools or having to lose connectors. So we'll take it apart. And similar to putting it in, kind of like snap it, but put your hand underneath and kind of curl the PVC up. That makes it a little bit easier to pull off. So. And I don't know if you've ever disconnected or disassembled any other flat pack furniture, but one of the, I guess any furniture for that matter, one of the problems is there's loose connectors. I mean, if you can manage to take it apart and you haven't lost the tools or anything, there's connectors that you have to keep track of. Normally you'll like put them in a Ziploc bag or something, duct tape that to the frame, which will leave duct tape residue and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, if you lose your connectors, I mean, you can't put your furniture together anymore. So let's take it apart the same way we did it. One of the many nice things about ours, the connectors are self-contained. So you can't lose the connectors without losing the furniture. Which, as someone that loses stuff, pretty nice not to have. So just going to make a small pile of all this stuff here. One of the other things we're doing is, I briefly touched on it before, how there's interchangeable pieces, how like one T is the same as the next T, same as the next T. I mean, antis and T's are different, but the way with Legos, like there's like a 4x2 block is the same as all the other 4x2 blocks. Well, we're going to introduce the same sort of like interchangeable piece idea. So that way, I don't know, if you want to build a coffee table for your first apartment, you can do that. But then your second apartment, you don't need a coffee table, you need bookshelves. Well, okay. Maybe you need some extra pieces, but you can break down your current coffee table and build up a bookshelf. If you need a couple extra pieces, we'd be happy to sell them to you. If you don't, well, just go ahead and break it down and build it up yourself. But you can kind of see how it's coming apart here. And again, same method we talked about before, where it's just a one click to unlock the clickers, and then they're relatively free to take apart. Some of them you got to do at the same time. They want to come off at the same time. It's much easier, but it can be a little tricky sometimes. But you can see how, I've been doing this for, I actually don't know, 5 or 10 minutes or something. Not only built a coffee table, but I was able to explain to you what we're doing and all that sort of stuff. And then break it down to its bits and pieces so we can easily move it away. Anyway, like I mentioned before, Friday we're going to go over improvements to I'm calling this the prototype of a prototype. Improvements to this for our actual prototype. I'll go over all that on Friday. So like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you on Friday.